Get out of my way! You are trespassing! I demand you leave this instant!
Sir, you need to calm down right now.
They tried to kidnap my 10-year-old son in broad daylight, claiming they were HOA enforcement. One problem there is no HOA here. And they picked the wrong father. She jumped out of a black SUV and pointed straight at my 10-year-old, like he was some kind of criminal. "Hand him over," she shouted. He violated HOA security rules. I froze for half a second, because there is no HOA here. We live on open county land. My son just stood there shaking, holding the little toolbox he uses to fix his bike. Two men stepped out behind her, wearing cheap uniforms, flashing plastic badges like they were running a real operation. One of them reached for my son's arm. My boy looked up at me with wide, terrified eyes, and something slow and quiet started burning in my chest. I said calmly, "Touch him again and you'll regret it." The woman smirked, already convinced she'd won. "We're HOA enforcement," she snapped. "Your kid damaged community property." She pointed at a streetlight that had been broken for months. Before I could respond, one of the fake cops pulled out a clipboard. "We're removing the child for questioning." My fists tightened, but I stayed calm. Too calm for someone who looked like an average mechanic dad. She had no idea who I really was, or what I'd survived. She stepped closer, trying to push past me. "Move, or I'll call real police and say you're resisting." My son grabbed my sleeve and whispered, "Dad, are they allowed to take me?" I leaned down and whispered back, "Not from me, not ever." She snapped her fingers. "Take the kid." Now they walked toward him slowly, confidently, like this wasn't their first time. And that's when something inside me clicked. Something they couldn't see. Something they couldn't predict. Because I wasn't just some quiet dad fixing bikes in his garage. I was the one thing fake cops fear most. A Navy SEAL with patience running out. Before they took 3 steps, I spoke again. Low. Calm. Cold. "Before you touch my son, look at the ground." They paused and looked down. My boots were planted in the dirt. What they didn't realize was that I'd positioned myself between them, and the only way out a small detail, but enough to shake a liar. One of the fake cops swallowed hard. The woman rolled her eyes. "Stop acting tough. You're just a handyman. I didn't move." I asked, "What's the penal code for HOA, child detention?" They froze. They didn't know the answer. They didn't even know the question. She pulled out her phone and pointed it at me perfect. "I'll show police how you threatened us." My son stepped behind me, trembling. I tapped his shoulder gently, a silent message. "Stay close. Stay calm." She marched toward the streetlight, yelling, "This brat broke it. You think you can hide behind your dad?" "My land?" I asked quietly. She laughed. "Yes. HOA land." I pulled a folded document from my pocket. "This land, the one my father bought 20 years before your HOA existed." Her smile vanished. Then a loud truck door slammed. My neighbor, an older man with a limp, stood there holding his phone up high. "Everything's recorded," he said. "Especially the part where they tried to grab a minor." Her face went pale. "Turn that off. You can't record HOA security." He chuckled. "This is county land, and those two aren't officers." She turned toward the fake cops. Shaking now, I stepped forward, fully between them and my son. "Before you do something you can't walk away from, I said you should know who you're dealing with." The taller fake cop sneered. Oh yeah. And who's that? I met his eyes without blinking. Retired Navy SEAL. His jaw locked, and then a real police cruiser rolled up behind them. Lights off, engine slow. The officer stepped out, already watching their hands. Funny thing, he said. Dispatch got a call about men impersonating law enforcement. The woman panicked. No, they're HOA. They were helping me detain this man's kid. The officer raised an eyebrow. Ma'am, there is no HOA here. The fake cops tried to run. They made it 2 steps. The officer tackled one. My neighbor stuck his cane out, and the other face planted into the dirt. The officer cuffed them, checked the badges, and shook his head. Both fake. Then he turned to her. You're going in too. Conspiracy trespassing. Attempted kidnapping. She started crying. I didn't know. I spoke quietly. You tried to take my son. You knew enough. They put her in the cruiser as she screamed the whole way. When it was over, my son slipped his hand into mine. Dad, are we safe now? I looked at him and said, yeah. No one ever touches you. The cruiser drove off. Dust settling behind it, the land went quiet again. My land. My home, my family. Safe, because this time, the wrong people messed with the wrong dad.